Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here and we are kicking off round 2 with the Olivine Carbons hosting the Levere Candy Hearts, who had the bye in round 1, so they will be having their first matchup of the season. The Carbons are coming off a loss and they're not going to want to repeat that here again today. They do have a type advantage over the Candy Hearts, so we'll see if that will favour them today. Let us know who you think will win. Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
Now the Olivine Carbons have that huge advantage over most sides, having resistances against most teams they go up against, as Dashbun and Mimikyu start off for the Candy Hearts, and it is Corviknight and Lucario starting off, as immediately Mimikyu with the super effective Flame Charge onto Lucario gets the speed boost there, but that is a fantastic hit, and Dashbun is going to follow it up with the Sunny Day. That harsh sunlight is going to burn brightly over the field. Lucario going for the smoke screen though, trying to lower the accuracy here of that big tasty looking pupper, as Corviknight with the echoed voice on the Dashbun doing a little bit of damage there. Mimikyu in its disguise as well, so it needs to take a hit. Goes with the Petal Blizzard, hitting everyone on the field, and a Dragon Breath now from Dashbun onto Lucario. Not very effective, but Lucario has taken a lot of damage already in this matchup as it goes for the Baby Doll Eyes over Mimikyu, lowering its attack stat here. Corviknight gonna follow it up with the Circle Throw, but it won't affect the Ghost Fairy type as Mimikyu sets up spikes nice and early in this matchup on the side of the Olivine Carbons. This could come in huge throughout the matchup. Any Pokemon that lands on the field for the Carbons will take damage as the Absorb onto Corviknight. Not very effective here, but Dashbun is able to restore a tiny bit of health thanks to that move. Lucario going for the Seed Bomb here onto Mimikyu, and that disguise will be broken. Mimikyu will be taking a little bit of damage here after that busted disguise happens. And Corviknight going for the Dire Claw onto Dashbun. Super effective, but Dashbun holds on. Mimikyu now with the Muddy Water hitting both these steel types. Lucario has taken so many hits in this matchup as the Infernal Parade from Dashbun, and Lucario holds on barely, and it goes for the Gigaton Hammer onto Mimikyu and gets a super effective elimination. Mimikyu is taken out of this matchup. Corviknight could follow it up here going for the Fire Lash, but it won't work because that well-baked body ability will boost the defense of Dashbun, as we have Carbink come onto the field. Dashbun with the payback onto Corviknight. Surely it should have gone for Lucario with that move, who sets up a Tailwind. That Tailwind is going to blow from behind the Carbons. They will surely be faster than Dashbun now, as Corviknight with the Barb Barrage is going to finish the Pupper off with that super effective move, and the Carbons are off to a strong start as Carbink sets up some more spikes on the side of the Olivine Carbons. I do not believe they need to set up 2 sets of spikes, as that harsh sunlight will fade from the field, and out comes Blissey, the Terrestrial Pokemon for the Levere Candy Hearts. It is going to lose that normal typing. It is going to become a fairy type because it is one of the most caring Pokemon you will ever meet, and it's not going to be able to do a great deal of physical damage as it has that huge 135 special defense. But we get a Judgment first from Lucario onto Blissey. Blissey tanks that hit, and Corviknight goes for the Esper Wing. They are clearly trying to get Blissey off this field as quickly as they can. Corviknight getting the speed boost as well. Blissey with the Fury Cutter eliminates Lucario with that not very effective attack. It is amazing to see Blissey take out Lucario like that, as we get a Dragon Pulse from Carbink onto Corviknight. Not very effective. Corviknight tanks that hit, and Forretress comes out for the Olivine Carbons, immediately hurt by those spikes. You'd usually see a Pokemon like Forretress setting up spikes like that, as the Expanding Force Blissey tanks yet another hit. And we get the Psychic from Forretress also going for Blissey. They are clearly trying to get Blissey off this field, who goes for the Quick Attack onto Forretress. A little bit of damage with that not very effective move here, as Carbink now going for the Whirlpool onto Corviknight. This could be very good. It doesn't do much damage there, but that continuous vortex of water will do more damage to Corviknight as it is hurt by that Whirlpool. It does go for the double kick now onto Blissey. Gets the first hit, gets the second. Not very effective though, because Blissey doesn't have that normal typing anymore. It does get the 2 hits in, however. Forretress now with the Axe Kick onto Carbink, trying to capitalize on that part rock typing, and it's going to leave Carbink confused as well. It will want to shake that off. Doesn't want to do damage to itself, as we get a role play now from Blissey targeting Fortress with that. It loses its Serene Grace, which I'm sure it surely wanted to keep to try and get those critical hits. Gets the Overcoat ability. And Carbink here, trying to shake off its confusion. Unsuccessful. It does a little bit of damage to itself there in its confusion. As that Whirlpool continues to do damage to Corviknight. If they can get enough damage done to Corviknight with that Whirlpool, they might be able to get it off this field. As Corviknight with the Frenzy Plant now onto Blissey. Blissey tanking all these hits that are coming its way. And it goes for the Gunk Shot. This will not affect the Steel types. They are immune to Poison type attacks. Carbink now still in its confused state. Needs to shake it off. It is going to be successful this time. Goes for the Extreme Speed onto Fortress. Fortress taking a little bit of not very effective damage here, as it's now the slowest Pokemon on the field. It goes for the Dragon Tail, but the Fairy types are immune to Dragon type attacks. Both these sides coming in with immunities. Corviknight continuing to take damage from its Whirlpool. Has to recharge after that Frenzy Plant. And we get the Magic Room now from Blissey. As all held items do lose their effect, everyone in the PokeType League does hold on to Leopard Berries. Carbink still confused, strikes itself and its confusion. You do not want to see that happen to any Pokemon in its confused state. As we get the Flamethrower from Fortress, and Carbink hugely takes that move, as Corviknight surely has only one turn left if this Whirlpool keeps up. Going for the Steel Roller, it does fail, however, allowing Blissey to go for the Sky Attack. We will see this harsh sunlight cloak Blissey as it sets up for that 2-turn move. And Carbink still confused, needs to shake it off. It is going to be able to. It goes for the Explosion. And Carbink takes itself out of this matchup. It's going to eliminate Corviknight with that not very effective move. It even gets the critical hit, which was unnecessary. But it will take out Blissey. Blissey, who was tanking so many hits, has been eliminated by its own teammate. And just like that, everything is going the Olivine Carbon's way, as long as we don't get the Explosion from Fortress as well. It goes for the Hypnosis, which does fail. There's no one to go for. And it's Chestnut coming out for the Olivine Carbons, as we have Grimmsnarl and Fluttermane coming out for the Lavier Candy Hearts. They have 4 Steel-type Pokemon to contend with, as Chestnut is hurt by the spikes. It is going to Terrasilize into the Steel-type. It's going to lose that Fighting typing. It's going to lose the Grass typing. See if it can have an impact in this matchup, but the Olivine Carbons have the numbers advantage at the moment. A Bulldoze from Grimmsnarl hits everyone on the field, super effective on Chestnut here, but it's going to lower the speed of Fluttermane. It does lower the speed of Chestnut and Fortress as well, so the speed order should still be the same, as we get a Haze now from Fluttermane. All stat changes have been eliminated, which means everybody loses that speed drop, as we get a Heat Wave from Chestnut, followed up by a Water Spout. This is good by the Carbons. They are going for 2 Pokemon hit moves, hitting both Fairy types at the same time. A Water Pledge, though, from Grimmsnarl almost gets the elimination on Fortress, as it's followed up by a Withdraw from Fluttermane. Fluttermane should have gone on the offensive to try and take out Fortress from this matchup, as we get a Swift now from Chestnut. Won't affect the Part Ghost type. Fluttermane does connect with Grimmsnarl, though, and Fortress follows it up with the Infestation. Very minimal damage to Fluttermane, but it will do continuous damage as it is afflicted with this Infestation. Fluttermane, feeling those effects, it needs to get an elimination before it takes it out of this matchup. We get a Roost from Grimmsnarl, who is almost going to get itself back to full strength with that Roost. And we get a Heat Wave from Fluttermane. It is a huge play. It takes out both Steel-type Pokemon at the same time. That is fantastic. That is exactly what the Candy Hearts needed. Fantastic by Fluttermane there to get the double elimination. Taking out Fortress, taking out Chestnut, as we have Copperaja and Orthworm coming out for the Olivine Carbons. Both of them immediately landing in the spike, so they are going to feel the effects of that. And Grimmsnarl with the Heal Bell. This Bell is going to chime, but it will fail. There's nobody to heal at the moment. But Fluttermane looking to follow it up, that perfect last move. Goes for the Poltergeist, but Copperaja avoids that attack. And Orthworm is going to go for the Incinerate onto Grimmsnarl and both Fluttermane, burning up both of their Leopard Berries here. Copperaja has an opportunity to follow this up as well, and goes with the Sing. It's going to put Fluttermane to sleep, which is going to leave Grimmsnarl practically all by itself. Whilst Fluttermane is out of commission, it goes for the Shockwave onto Orthworm with that move. Gets a good hit, but Fluttermane is fast asleep on this field. It's having no impact whatsoever. It could be a diversion though, as Orthworm goes for the Lunar Dance. It does fail, thankfully, for the Olivine Carbons, but a knockoff from Copperajah is going to eliminate Fluttermane from this matchup. Grimmsnarl going for the spin out. It's going to have its speed lowered here, and it's not very effective on Orthworm. Gets an okay hit there. See if it's still quicker than Orthworm in the coming turns, but a dazzling gleam from Orthworm. Super effective there onto Grimmsnarl. Copperajah has the opportunity to follow this up. Goes for the Dragon Dance, so it is going to give itself a nice boost to its attack here, as well as its speed. Copperajah with that 130 base attack as well. You do not want to be hit by that, but a Mortal Spin from Orthworm, super effective on Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl is left poisoned. It needs to go for something big to get these eliminations as the spikes disappear from the field. Copperajah could get the elimination though, goes for the block. Grimmsnarl can't escape. It's all by itself. It needs to go for something huge. Feeling the effects of the poison. It's got one turn left. It's still the fastest on the field, and it's going to go for a Wave Crash onto Copperajah. This is horrible. Huge hit, which is fantastic, but Grimmsnarl is damaged by the recoil, and it is eliminated. The Olivine Carbons get the victory in what turned out to be an extremely back and forth match. The Fairy types giving all they could, but the Olivine Carbons walking away with the victory, and they're going to want to look to repeat this next round when they take on the Opelucid Emperors, whereas the Candy Hearts next round will be taking on the Glisado Nordics, but in our very next matchup, it will be the Golden Road Aces hosting the Motorstoke Engines. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. But more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.